Hey, what's up everyone? In this video I wanted to show you how to properly fit a backpack for hiking. Now, if you're usually carrying somewhat lighter loads, it may not be that important, but if you usually carry anything over 10 to maybe 15 kilograms, then this becomes really important. But before I actually show you how to adjust all the straps and balance everything out, I'll show you what to look out for whenever you're buying a new backpack for hiking. The first thing that you should pay attention to is getting a pack with an internal frame. If you'd be carrying something below maybe 10 kilograms, then you could probably live without the internal frame. But anything over that basically needs an internal frame. The idea behind internal frames is that you can balance the weight between the hip belt and the shoulder straps. Without an internal frame, you'd just be carrying all the weight on your shoulders and you'd end up with a lot of shoulder pain and back pain. The next thing that you should look out for is that your pack comes with an adjustable torso length, which means that the place where the shoulder straps are attached to the backpack can be adjusted in height. For instance, on this pack, if you unclip this Velcro, you can adjust it higher or lower, depending on how tall you are. You can measure your own torso length by finding three spots. The first two are your hip bones on each side. Find the top of your hip bones. Mine are somewhere over here, and then measure the midpoint between them, probably somewhere over here. Next, you need to find this bone that's sticking out from your spine over here. It's usually at the height of your shoulders. So your friend can help you measure the height between those 2 points, or you can walk next to a tree or use a stick or something similar to find your own torso length. If you want to get a perfect fit from your backpack, it needs to have four things. First one is a good and very nicely padded hip belt. Make sure that it's very thick, it's nicely padded, because you'll be balancing most of the weight around your hips. The next thing is good shoulder straps that are adjustable in height, like this. Make sure that they're very nicely padded and that they're very comfortable. The third one is a chest sternum strap. Also make sure that it's adjustable. And the fourth one is these things right here, which are called load lifters. And essentially they move the backpack closer to your back. The next thing that you should understand is how much gear you plan on carrying. If you'll be using your backpack mostly in the summer months where you don't need that much gear, and if your gear is somewhat lightweight and somewhat compact, then probably a pack like this will be just perfect for you. But if you'll be carrying a lot of gear, you're planning on hiking in winter, then you should get something closer to this pack, which has a lot of padding. All of the straps are much sturdier. On this pack, which is mostly meant for lighter loads, the hip belt is very flexible and it doesn't have any structure. But when you look at this pack, it's very thick and it's very padded, which is very good for heavier loads. Another thing that you should watch out for is if you're a female, you should maybe consider getting a pack that's meant only for females instead of a unisex backpack. Usually female backpacks are shaped slightly differently in the shoulders and in the chest area because our chest areas are slightly different. So if you get a female pack and you're a female, it will act as an additional layer of comfort. And the last thing that you should watch out for is just going through the review section and finding out if there are any problems with your particular backpack. For instance, a lot of backpacks have a problem where all of the straps basically come loose after a while. Everyone hates that feeling whenever you adjust your backpack. It feels very nice and very good on you, but then you start walking and after 1 or 2 kilometers everything comes loose and you need to readjust it. It sucks. Alright, so now I'll show you how to actually adjust all of the straps so you can achieve a perfect fit. The first thing that you need to do is set the correct torso length on the backpack itself, which you measured on yourself before. So I'll show you how to do that right now. My own personal torso length is between 43 to 45 centimeters. So the first thing you need to do is find the middle part of the hip belt, which is somewhere over here. And on the top part, you need to find the part where the shoulder straps sit on the top of your shoulders. And it looks like it should be probably somewhere here. So measure the height between the 2 points. So it looks like right now it's set at about 47 centimeters. So I need to make it a bit lower. Alright, let's measure that again. Okay, so now it sits at 44 centimeters, which should be the correct height for me. The next thing that you should do is put on your backpack and make sure that all of the straps are nice and loose before you start adjusting anything. Next, you want to adjust your hip belt. So put it on, adjust it very tightly, and make sure that the hip belt is sitting right on your hip bones. Mine should be somewhere over here, and when you've adjusted it tightly, adjust it even more tightly, because you want to be balancing almost all of the weight around your hips. If you aren't used to wearing your hip belt very tightly, this might result in a few bruises around your hips. So remember to bring some Leuko tape, and whenever you start walking, just feel where are the hot spots where you might get some blisters, and apply some Leuko tape before. Next, you need to adjust both of these shoulder straps. So adjust them to a point where they start to take the form of your shoulders, but keep them kind of loose. You don't want them too tight. Next, you need to adjust the chest sternum strap. So it needs to sit right over your chest, somewhere over here. You don't want it very tight like this. You want it to be sitting something like this, where it's kind of loose, but you can feel that it's tightened enough. And the last thing that you need to do is adjust the load lifters. Again, you don't want them too tight. Adjust them only when you start to feel that the backpack itself is sitting right next to your back. So I think something like this feels good. If you feel that most of the weight is now on your legs, that's a good thing, and it means that you've done everything correctly. But if not, just keep readjusting things until you achieve a result similar to that. I hope this video helped you out. I know it would have helped me out personally when I just started hiking on my own. Back then I didn't know a thing basically about how a backpack should be adjusted. I carried a lot of heavy gear, a lot of beers, and at the end of the day my back would hurt like a motherfucker. So yeah, definitely keep all of these things in mind and adjust your backpack properly, and you won't have any issues with back pain. This channel is all about hiking and hiking gear, so if you're interested in that, maybe subscribe, and I guess I'll see you next time. Bye!